Hello Exiles, and today what we're going to be discussing is how to flip currencies and how to sell your currencies in your stash tab. Now I've had a few requests on Discord and I've had a few requests on videos in my comments basically asking me, and they don't know how to actually sell currencies in their actual stash tab. What I mean by that is if you're wanting to, let's say, 500 fusings, obviously you don't know how to actually price it within your stash tab. Or if you wanted to, let's say, or if you wanted to buy, let's say, 120 orbs of regret from the market without leaving your hideout, then people don't know how to do it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run through that with yourself today with a quite easy explanatory guide for you here in Excel. And obviously, hopefully by the end of this video, you should understand what it is that you need to do. Before we begin, obviously, if you are enjoying these videos, guys, and you are liking them, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It's going to greatly help me. It's going to help me grow the channel, obviously, to the limits that I would like, and obviously how far I'd like to push it. So throw me a subscribe, throw me a like, throw me a comment. Any support would be fully appreciated. And finally, I am going to be streaming tonight on Twitch, so if anybody wants to come along and join me for the reveal, and I'm also going to be streaming next Friday for the launch, then come along and join me. The Twitch link is in the description. Throw me a follow and I will see you there. With that being said, let's begin. So first things first is that there is two basic things that you need to know when you are wanting to try and sell currencies, and that is what is on screen here. Basically, what needs to go on the left hand side and the right hand side of the / that is in your currency. So the first thing you need to know is whatever the first number is, that is what currency you want, as in that is how many you want. Okay, that's the first thing, but it's also what currency. Second thing is on the right hand side of the / is what currency you will give them, i.e. what volume. So to put this into practice, and obviously just to explain it in a little bit more technical matter, I have done some examples here just to kind of make it easy for yourself. So let's say, and this is for if you was selling back into the market. So let's say you are selling chaos orbs and you want to sell the 500 chaos orbs that you have within your stash, and you want to convert them into divines. Now, just to make this easy, let's say that it's 100 chaos per divine, just to make this nice and easy. Then you would type in your box 5/500. Okay, so that's the first thing that you would need to know. Second thing that you need to know is, where do you put this? Do you put it on the divine or do you put it on the chaos? The most important thing is you would always, and you will see this in a second, you always put it on the end currency. So over in this example, as I say here, it is the chaos orb. Because the chaos orb is what you are obviously selling, it always needs to be put on this. Okay, so whatever is in this column or whatever is in this is on the right hand side of the /. So what currency you're going to give them is where it needs to be. Now the most important thing as well here, so obviously in this example, this is what it would look like in game. Exact price 5/500, and then the drop down box needs to be whatever the first box is. So you would obviously right click your chaos orbs, and I will show you this in game as well, just so that you can see. If you right click your chaos orbs here, I already have a trade outstanding, but what I will do is obviously I will get it to match this. So if we wanted it to look like this, then I would literally type in here 5/500, and this has to be a divine orb as it shows here, and then you literally just hit go, and there you go, it's done. It's that easy. Now obviously I'm not going to leave that trade there because I will get absolutely spammed, so let's just remove that. But that is how you would do it. That is obviously if you're wanting to, let's say, sell. So the second box, the second value, is always what you are looking to sell, and obviously the first number is what you want for it. As it says right here with the red arrow, it's crucial that whatever currency is in the first box, which is obviously in this situation, it's a divine orb, that needs to be in the drop down box. Next example is if you wanted to flip it the opposite way. So let's say I wanted to break some divine orbs. Okay, so let's say I've got 5 divine orbs, but I need 500 chaos. Then you would literally just flip it. So on the divine orb, you would obviously right click your divine orb and you would type in 500/5. Okay, so they are then giving you 500 chaos and you are giving them 5 divines, and you would change the drop down box to chaos orbs. Again, to show this in game, divine orb, because obviously you have, let's say you had 5 of these, so let's just take this out just to kind of show you what it would look like. So let's say I have 5 of them like that. I would literally type on here, drop this to exact price, type in here 500/5, leave this as chaos orb, and then you would then hit save, and that is pretty much it. Hopefully that is starting to make a little sense in terms of how you do it. Now this is obviously, as I put here, easy level. This is obviously selling. Okay, so if you are then wanting to sell items into the market. Now it also works for other currencies as well, so not just for chaos and divines, as I've done an example here. So let's say you had 200 orbs of regret and you wanted to sell them, and let's say you wanted a divine for it, then you would literally, on your orbs of regret, you would right click it, do exact price 1/200, and you would drop your box to and select divine orb, because that is what's in the first box. Does that make sense? So you are then selling 200 orbs of regret for 1 divine orb. Again, as it says here, make sure that you put this on the orbs of regret. Again, if you want to see this in game, you would literally just go 1/200, and you would then change that to divine orbs. Now the good thing about this is, as you can see here, I don't have 200 orbs of regret, but the way that the trading tool works, and this is very, very slick, is that as soon as you hit 200, this trade will then basically pop up on the trade site automatically. So you can set up trades on all of your currencies, and once they hit the regulated figure that is there, they will then appear on the trade site. Now, one thing to note though is that if you take all of your currency out and put it back in again, it removes the trade entirely. So just bear that in mind. You will need to then put it back on again, just to obviously renegotiate or re-establish that trade that's there. Hope that makes sense. Now we're gonna flip it. This is now medium level. So now let's say we want to do it the opposite way round. So now we want to buy orbs of regret for a divine. Okay, so let's say I need some orbs of regret because I want to respec my character. Then you would do exactly what it says here. So you would obviously right click the divine orb, you would obviously type in 140/1, and in the last box, as advised here, whatever's in the first box needs to be in this last box here. So orbs of regret are in the first box, so that needs to be in the drop down menu. That then means that if you would then go on the trade site and basically you're telling people that you want to buy 140 orbs of regret for 1 divine. Now obviously all of these prices that obviously I'm spitting out here I'm just throwing them out randomly. You will need to check these prices and check how much people are selling these orbs for 1 divine before you start putting these prices on, because you don't want to sell yourself short and you don't want to pay over the price. So this is medium level obviously of trading, obviously just because you are buying then from the market. In doing this, by the way, you don't even need to leave your hideout. You don't need to go to somebody else. All of the ways that I'm going to teach you here are literally so that you never need to leave your hideout and you don't have to mess around on the trade site. The only thing you'll need to do on the trade site is literally get the exchange rate. That is it. You won't need to start going to people's hideouts and trading with them. They will come to you. Okay, now we're going to knock it up a notch. So let's say I want to sell my life force. Okay, so I've got 4,700 life force. Now, as you know, life force is not in the drop down list. Now, the first part of it is quite easy. So because we are going to be selling the life force for divines, the divines is obviously in the first box. This one is nice and easy. So as it says here, you would, on your life force, you would do 1/4,700, and the last box would be a divine. That's nice and easy, yes? And obviously within game, just so you can see it, you would literally go in here and that is how it looks. 1/4,700. And this is obviously if you have the stash tab, the premium stash tab. If you don't have this, and let's say this is literally just in any tab like this, you can do it in exactly the same manner. 1//4700. We've now kind of excelled past. This is kind of like, this is like A level. This is like obviously degree level. Now we're going into PhD and master's level now. You want to know how to do this, it starts getting a little bit complicated, so just bear this in mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just kind of knock this down a few rows just so that you don't get confused with what's above it, and obviously you can then just kind of focus on what is on my screen. Let's say you are wanting to buy, as I've put here, buy life force for a divine. Now, as we always say, you would put this on the divine orb, wouldn't we? We would put this price on a divine orb. However, whatever's in the first box, as we've explained, needs to be in the drop down box. Now the drop down box, I don't know if you've ever noticed, does not have life force in it. Now there is thousands of items within the game, and not everything is included within this list. So if you are ever wanting to buy something that is not included within that list, then you need to follow a bit of a process, which I'm going to go through with yourself now. The first thing you need to do is you need to move whatever the currency is that's this end box currency. So obviously whether it be a divine orb, you need to move that to a sale tab. So literally grab any sale tab and just slap it in there. That's literally it. That's your first step. Okay. Next step that you would need to do is you would need to navigate to the trade site, and on the far right hand side here there is an about button. So if we go to the trade site, you see up here it says about. If you click on that, if you then scroll down, there is a section here that says item tags. Okay, now this is every single piece of currency that is within the game. Now if we think about what we are looking to sell, we are looking to sell life force. Life force is classed as a currency. So as you can see here, I've put obviously show the tags. If we go on currency, it then shows you every single tag for every single piece of currency in the game. Now bear in mind the tags are on the right hand side here. Okay, so this on the right. So what we're doing is we're looking for the life force. Now it's down here, as you can see here, vivid hyphen life force, if you can see that there. So if we go back to my sheet, I've put here, look, this is the wording that you have to use exactly. So you can copy this text if you want and go into POE. Okay. Now the next thing that I've put here is how to do it. This is the last box, so I'm going to move this across. You have to put, so best thing to, and this is to make it easy for yourself. We would right click this and we would go to exact price. Okay. Now bearing in mind the number 4,500/1. So we would put in here 4,500/1. And now it's at this point you then change it to note. Now the reason for that is because then it adds this bit at the beginning, adds this like little squiggly line and the word price and then your price. But the thing that you need to change is this word at the end that says chaos. So best thing to do is take it back to the 1 just to be sure, add a space, and then if you then copy and paste from the trade site, so we're just going to copy this, paste it there, you would then press save and you are then done. You are there basically saying that you want to buy 4,500 vivid life force and that you will give that person 1 divine. Okay, that is how it works. Obviously let's go back to this, and there is obviously an example of how it would look. 4,500/1, 1, which obviously is the divine that you are on. Okay, now just to show this in a different example, obviously I did it again here with Hydra Shaper fragments. Okay, so let's say I wanted to buy 10 of those for 1 divine. It's exactly the same. Obviously the coding for this is it's not a currency. This is classed as a fragment. And if you go down here, Hydra is literally just the word Hydra, nothing else. So if we go back to here, you would then do 10/1, which is the same as this. And then you would then put a space and then literally just type the word Hydra, and that's it. That will then pop on the trade site to say that you are looking to buy 10 shaper fragments, Hydra shaper fragments, and you will pay that person 1 divine. Don't worry if this obviously takes a little bit to get in. Trust me, it starts to mesh with your head just a little bit because obviously the amount of numbers back and forth. But the best thing for you to do is put it on the trade site. If you start getting absolutely spammed, and I mean literally getting spammed like 10 to 15 spams every 10 seconds, then you may have done something wrong because you may have the price the wrong way around, or you may have it too cheap. Never ever accept any trades if you are getting absolutely spammed and you've literally done it for the first time, because you may have done it wrong. Just bear that in mind. You may have done it the wrong way around. You may have said, I'm going to buy one life force for 4,700 divines. I have accidentally done that in the past, and I have absolutely got spammed to hell for nearly 10 minutes. So just be careful how you do it. But if you want, I will put a link to this sheet in the description below so that you can actually see it and you can kind of use it as a bit of a guide, obviously to help you when you are pricing stuff. As I've put here, this is for selling, this is for buying, and this is for selling and buyings that are not on the list. Now obviously, as I've put here a bit of a gap, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to block that out with black, because this is selling, which is a bit easier, and then this is obviously expert. This is the buying part of it, where obviously it starts to get a little bit more tricky. I hope now you will understand how to do things and how to sell it. If you are unsure, just watch the video again, or just use this as your guide, as your examples. I've put these examples here to try and help you. And I hope that this has been helpful for you in trying to obviously make a bit of money next league for the Settlers of Kalgur. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching and stay sane.